Morning everyone, it's Tess from teachwithtess.com. How are you this beautiful 2nd of April 2020? So today I've come to speak to you a little bit about the pros and cons of Wales English, because for those who are thinking of applying, it's very useful to have a really good, insightful view of all the good things, but of course all the not so great things about the company you're thinking of joining. So if I just start with a little bit of background about me, I have worked in education for about 20 years, both in the UK and in France, where I had a company and taught ESL for many, many years. But I've also got a qualified teacher status here in the UK, so I've worked in schools here in the UK. I then started consulting and was working with a school, an international school in Belgium. And when I finished that contract, I came back last year and really thought to myself, what do I want to do and why do I want to do it? And for me personally, the commute to Brussels every week was a bit of a killer. And so I decided to go back to my roots, which was teaching, but I didn't want the pressure of school. I didn't want bricks and mortar, and I didn't want to go back into the classroom as such with 30 plus students. So I looked around and, probably like you, maybe considering the world of ESL online teaching and just saying, oh, what is it? There are so many schools out there. There is so much that you can do, you can choose from. How do I make a wise decision? So I was sitting there going, I don't know what to do. And I started research and I came across Wales English, and I thought, actually this company can satisfy my needs to work from home, to give myself the freedom to be able to travel, because I'm now 53. Should I say that out loud? I ain't gonna lie, I'm 32. No, I'm not. I am 53, 54 this year. And I thought to myself, my kids have grown, they've left home, I can travel with my partner, and that's our life goal. I'm now going to say coronavirus has hit, so we're not traveling very much right now, and who knows when we'll go again. But that is one of my goals and one of the main priorities behind my drive to get into ESL teaching, because you can teach anywhere that you have got internet and a quiet place. So it's fantastic. So I decided those are really my reasons. I wanted to work from home and I wanted to be able to travel whenever I wanted to. So I started looking around. Now, as I said, there are lots of schools out there. There are lots of them that I couldn't apply to, such as VIP Kid, I think Goga Kid as well, because they want an North American accent, which obviously I don't have. But there are lots of other ones that do. So, in fact, I joined Wales English and Say ABC at the same time last December 2019. And I applied. I'm going to talk mainly about Wales because I left Say ABC very rapidly because it just didn't suit me as a company. I didn't really like the communication and the way I felt like I wasn't part of anything. I was just on my own doing my thing. So today it's about Wales English. So I went through all the process of joining. I did my interview. I obviously got recruited and started working. Now, how it all pans out, I've addressed a bit more in a different video about the interview and demo class techniques. But when you start with Wales English, you start doing trial lessons. So that's how you start. But I am here to talk to you today about the pros and the cons. So let's be very clear about this. I love Wales. I love Wales. Why do I love Wales? First and foremost, because it is a company whose, I don't know, how do you say, community? The community around Wales English is really amazing, and I love the fact that although I am here in the UK in my room where I teach, I very much feel part of a global community, and for me that was really important because I'm a sociable person. There's a great Facebook support group and there is very clear ways of communicating with the actual company in Beijing. So community was very important for me. But then I'm going to come straight on to the communication element. Now, this was key to why I left Say ABC. They just didn't answer my emails and I didn't feel part of anything. But here you've got a really clear communication tree how to get in touch with people, the email addresses and all the rest of it. So the communication with Wales is really easy. Plus you've got moderators in the official Facebook group, so you can get hold of them and they will pass everything back to management. I thought that was really good. The other thing that leads on very nicely from that as well is the fact that at Wales English you have a dedicated person who will support you with your classes. So they are the link with the teacher, with the parents, and they are your link. So if you need to, if you're trying to get more classes, they're the ones you go to. If there are problems with any classes, they're the ones you go to. So it's really great having somebody who is there for you. They have firemen, which all schools will have, of course. So for the tech issues, I'll get onto those. The firemen are really useful. They help a lot. Then you've also got the scheduling. Now, the fact that Wales English is quite particular in that it expects you to commit to a minimum of 8 hours peak Beijing time. So that's from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Sunday, but on the weekend it's also from 9 to 12 a.m. Now, I can do that easily because Wales is my full-time job. But there is obviously, the advantage of this for the regular classes is that you are scheduled for 30 weeks. So for 30 weeks, you know exactly how much income you're going to get. And on top of that regular income, there are the bonuses that you get from teaching peak hour weekend classes in the evening, and also from converting trials into signed clients. And as you grow the amount of classes you do, every month they have objectives for you to hit. So you can, if you teach the amount of lessons that they want you to be able to teach, then you get bonuses as well. So, there is really a way of making money. So for me, those are the main, there is another one. The fact that they give you all the content for your lessons, and in general it's pretty good. It's based on National Geographic, Bob's books for its beginner classes. You've got all the Biff and Kipper books. So the classes are based on some really great material. And so you just need to prep them. Obviously, you don't go in blind and teach. You need to know what's expected and how they all operate. But I think the classes are actually pretty good. The other good thing, I briefly mentioned this, is actually Wales is really well paying. They for new teachers you get different pay according to the level of classes you're teaching. But the first, when you enter and you start with your trials, you're on $18. I'm doing $21 an hour now, plus all the bonuses, and it really can add up very quickly. So that's another really positive thing about Wales. It pays well. They pay regularly, easily. They pay on the 15th of every month. You're paid through Payoneer or directly as a wire transfer into your account. I go to the Payoneer route and then into TransferWise borderless to get the best exchange rate, but that's a whole nother video. But the pay is really good, and as I said, the support. So I think, if as a general overview, that will give you a good idea of Wales. They are ethical, they are kind, they're caring. They've been super supportive during all the coronavirus outbreak, and they are very much behind their teachers. And I certainly feel that. I've always found they've been really supportive of any questions I've had. You get holidays. Oh my good grief, yeah, this is so important, because you do commit to 30 hours of one group of students. You do have 30 weeks in a row of lessons. So of course we all want to have a break. So you can take holidays during your contract time. And the other thing is, I've personally done is over the weekend I don't open up regular classes. I want to keep my weekends flexible, so I have flexible slots on the weekend, which means that I can open and close them every week. And then during the week, which is my normal working week, I have my regular classes, so I'm sort of teaching every day of the week, which suits me fine. So those are the pros, I would say, for the company. Now the cons. So what would I say about that? Now, interestingly enough, there are not, for me personally, they're not very many, there really aren't. I think the main one that will come back and will depend on, well, we're all trying to figure this out, but somehow I wonder if it isn't linked to where you are geographically in the world. But there are people who really struggle with the platform. Now, Wales English used to use Zoom, and they've created their own app, and that was developed back in the end of 2019. So it's very new, and they're still working through glitches. But there are some teachers who really struggle with it, and the tech issues around it can be a bane to their lives. Now, I'm very lucky. I've hardly had any tech problems. I really haven't. There have been the occasional frozen slide or whatever, but I really don't have that many problems. So it's a bit strange. There are teachers who really struggle with it, and there are others who have very few. So that is something to be aware of. Having said that, you know, Wales are they know that there are teachers out there who struggle with the platform, so they're working on it and trying, you know, permanently updating and, you know, trying to get all the glitches out of it. So I'd say that for me, and from what I've heard, is the biggest con with Wales English. I think the other one can be that probably culturally for some people the communication style or wording can be a bit abrupt. Sometimes things are said to us and, you know, the staff over there don't necessarily know what's going on. So that can be a bit of a challenge. There are some people who, when I talked earlier about the designated person that you have to work with. Now, that goes with the, you know, there are some who are better than others. There are some teachers who really have fantastic support people, and others who seem to struggle with them. So it's a bit of a luck of the draw. As far as filling up your schedule is concerned, I know for a fact that Wales is very picky about its teachers. It does not recruit anyone, and even when you look at logic, it doesn't recruit people who you'd imagine would get through like that. So sometimes that can be a bit baffling for people who want to join the company. They don't really understand why they don't get chosen. But for those who do get in, you know, I think this is the same in any job. If you're good at what you do, if you've figured out how to communicate with the children, you teach well, you also make sure that the parents like you, you do great profiles or a great profile video, and you upload things that are interesting and you get good feedback, then that is the way you grow your schedule. So, you know, for instance, I went from 0 at the end of December, and then knowing that January was very hit and miss because there is a Chinese New Year, and over in Western societies there's Christmas, and so not much going on, but I'm already almost full. I've got 5 spare slots basically, so my schedule's filled up with regular classes very quickly. But again, as I say, it really depends on the teacher. The other con, I would say, is there one? Not really. You see, I really do think the biggest one has got to be the platform, from what I've heard from other teachers on Facebook. That is the thing. So if that's, I mean, I really hope that's useful for you. Please get in touch with me if there is any other question that you may have about this, because, you know, you may have a specific request, a specific demand or whatever, and I would be more than happy to get hold of you and answer the questions. So I hope this has been helpful. Please email me at teachwithtess.com. It's down below. Of course, as always, please press on the like button and subscribe, and you'll be able to see all the other videos. And I'm about to start a series of 8 tips about different teaching techniques. So I will speak to you very soon. It's lovely to see you again, and bye-bye.